You mentioned this aspect of entrepreneurship and micro-entrepreneurship in particular.
Right.
With the digital domain, could you tell us what are some of the areas that a lot of the micro-entrepreneurs can end up looking at? Because we know that there is this notion of this gig economy. With gig economy, it's basically we have Uber and Bolt as certain examples. We also have the direct selling industry where you have entities such as Oriflame and QNet and Jeunesse and Forever Living. How can those type of businesses also flourish among the micro entrepreneurs?
In the micro entrepreneur space, what you need is some level of a platform, right, to get off, right? Because you may not have the capital, the resources to kind of build by yourself, right? Build the software or build the infrastructure you need. So the direct selling opportunities and the opportunities offered by Uber, Airbnb, for example, is a way to get these micro entrepreneurs off the ground without them necessarily having to build that critical infrastructure because they've built it already, right? Essentially, direct selling in these businesses minimize the requirement for micro entrepreneurs to get started. And as they get started, then they grow up that value chain and begin to spread their wings.
We see in the United States, you have companies like Amway and Avon.
Right, Amway and Avon, yeah.
And in Africa, we've seen the likes of Oriflame and QNet and Forever Living. Could you tell us, the likelihood, because we are a very homogenous society in Africa where we live among ourselves and our neighbors, and if a neighbor says, hey, look, I bought this,
social commerce.
Why don't you go and buy this as well? Do you see the growth of this industry significantly on the continent?
Yes, I do.
I'm aware of companies such as Amway, QNet, and Oriflame, not necessarily as pyramid schemes, but I think that they really have the ability to enable micro entrepreneurs to build up their capacity to use their micro marketing initiatives to build their own business. And I think that is a very important impetus within the entrepreneurial building ecosystem in Africa. And I think it needs to be enriched and enhanced further.
See, the way Avon and Amway have been successful in the US will not be exactly the same way they were successful in Africa, right? So they need to be able to adapt, because Africa is essentially a communal, I am because we are, right? Ubuntu, right? Yes. And these direct selling schemes actually work on that sort of community sense, right? And community recommendations, right? So they need to start understanding that the African societies are very heterogeneous, and so you need to start adapting. But in the framework of how direct selling works, of course, it's to work in Africa, right? But as they say, the devil is in the detail. And I think that the success of those companies in the US also create inspiration for other entrepreneurs here to say that, hey, we can also create those type of businesses, right? So they create both an opportunity for people to get up the ladder, but also create that inspiration. And I think that when you see global companies coming into the continent, also a validation that this continent has something to offer or offers a lot, and entrepreneurial youth can leverage that to go up.
With respect to e-commerce and direct selling, what are some of the things that youth could end up doing in order to take advantage of this? Because it is still a very nascent industry on the continent, and yet growing. And with what you say, as this industry, as the population grows, the opportunities for e-commerce are enormous. Can you just shed some thoughts on that?
I mean, the e-commerce numbers are growing phenomenally across Africa. And actually, we have a company called Haptel. And Haptel essentially gives, mom and pop shops the tools to kind of go online, And during COVID, we launched our food delivery service, and it was flying, right? And we've seen this with other e-commerce businesses that have predominantly grown significantly their online sales. But with the common market, you're also going to see now that this growth is intra-Africa. So you're going to be seeing entrepreneurs from Ghana expanding into Nigeria, into Togo, into Benin. You're going to see entrepreneurs from Kenya expanding to Tanzania, into Uganda. because the trade barriers are going down. And with e-commerce, they can fly in and they can quickly set up themselves, right? And you're going to see that also with other forms of sales, direct marketing and all that stuff, because the barriers for trade, the barriers that inhibit us from trading among ourselves are going to go down. So to a very large extent, you're going to see e-commerce becoming a driving force for trade across the continent, between countries and within countries.
Could you just highlight the notion of direct selling and basically what individuals need to end up looking at with respect to really growing those sort of businesses?
Well, the first thing is that it's almost like a low-hanging fruit, right? In a sense, it requires your ability to work hard, your ability to sacrifice, and your ability to focus and be patient and build your community of users and your community of people that will embrace the products that you're offering. It also means that you sell products in a targeted way because you want to sell people that will be interested in that product. And if you're within a community, you essentially know the things that people need, right? So you can then go to these direct selling companies and say, hey, I think people need this, that, and then you bring that and you essentially create that funnel where you are able to bring what people need, but also you're able to take to these companies notions of what people want. And that way you can create a two-way interaction that grows the business.
What types of online tools could you recommend for a lot of the youth to look at to improve their understanding of entrepreneurship? Because business skills is something that they don't necessarily have.
Right. So there's a lot of online tools, both international and also local educational sites. All you have to do is apply yourself. You have to start from somewhere. If you want business skills, there are online sites that create a lot of business learning skills. A lot of them are for free. Yeah. Even a lot of leading institutions are now open sourcing their content. MIT, Harvard, Stanford, all these guys are open sourcing their content. So you can go online and take the same classes that somebody who is paying for a physical presence in Harvard is offering. You're also seeing a lot of African institutions, for example, Stratford universities, putting a lot of their courses online. That gives the average learner, a lot of options, but you have to focus.
I'm aware that QNet also has one of their institutions, and I believe Amway has their institutions.
Yes.
And Avon and the whole likes of them. What could, for those who want to enter into this direct selling, what could they end up doing? Should they take advantage of these?
Of course. For me, it's the lowest hanging fruit in the manner of speaking, because if you're going to look to selling using their direct selling, then you want to start sort of learning using the curriculum, right, to understand how those schemes work. But also, this is the thing, right? A lot of people sometimes don't understand some of this direct selling stuff, and they see that, it's a quick way to make money. And then the pyramid scheme things come in, and we've seen a lot of bad apples in that regard. And so if you want to start this business, it's important that you take some time to read, to study, to understand the fundamentals of the business.
A lot of the youth are still lost because they're, with the likes of social media that comes in, they are living this so-called glamorous life that they see on Instagram, which is coming in from the West.
Yeah.
What could you talk to them about?
Well, I think that, the online world presents a lot of opportunities. And as a youth, your first course of action is, what do I want to achieve in my life, right? Define what your life is. What are you here to do? What do you want to achieve? And then begin to follow the course that will lead you to that with all the online tools you get. Don't get fooled by all this sort of glamorous, Instagram. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. It's good. But let it be part of your big picture of what you're trying to achieve.
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah.
All right, I appreciate your time on this, and I hope a lot of people can learn from this interview.